Hi, welcome to week 6. This week we're going to talk about building partnerships with families. And you've talked about some of the barriers, you've talked about some of the ways that you can include the families in your classroom. We've talked about some of those things. Now we need to really dive into building those partnerships. So please make sure that you're reading your textbook. Please make sure you're watching the videos that are posted for you in Blackboard. This week you also, as well as your journal and your discussion board, you also have the checkpoint 2 for your Debbie project, the diversity, equity, belonging, and inclusion. And this is a pretty big checkpoint. I hope you've already been working on it. If you've not, you may need to start today. But this one is pretty large. And what you're going to do is you're going to find 2 reputable sources that you are going to cite, but you're also going to give a brief summary of that. In fact, if you read the instructions at the bottom of the Debbie project, it gives you, because it's like 4 pages if you print it out, it gives you each checkpoint what's due. And for this one, you have to have 2 quality resources for the research that you're doing. But not only do you give me, the link or the actual cited resource, but you're also going to give a brief summary as to how you're going to use that, or what in that has made it important for you, which means you have to read it. So make sure you're reading it and kind of giving a little summary as to why that's going to be important for whatever your topic is for that project. Then you also need to make sure you're citing it correctly. And that's where I want to guide you again to our Student Success Center. They do check over assignments by appointment only. So you need to make sure you're doing that. The link is at the top of the Blackboard page under that technical services link that's up there. So please make sure that you're checking that out. Please make sure that you're citing things correctly. If you actually get the resource from our library, even the online version of our library, it actually gives you that cited source. So, and it's cited correctly, so you can basically copy and paste that site or how it's written up. You can actually copy and paste that into your document after you've written your summary. So please make sure that you're doing that correctly, because that is something that you want to kind of refer back to some of your English classes, or even Google it online to see how to cite resources properly for a paper. Again, this is probably the largest of all of your checkpoints, and it's going to be the most time consuming, so I would not wait until Wednesday when it's due and then email me and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to get this in because I didn't do this. You've known about it now for at least 3 weeks, and you've had the assignment for 3 weeks, and you were warned to go ahead and start finding those resources early. So please make sure that you have those in by Wednesday. Remember, due dates in this class are Wednesday. For discussion board, your initial post is due by Monday. Many of you are losing points for that. And I know the discussion is only, I believe, 20% of your grade in this class, but if you're losing points for it consistently each week, and that's 16 weeks, that could substantially affect your grade from an A to a B or a C to a D. So you want to make sure that you are keeping up with all of the work. All of the assignments, like I say, are due on Wednesday by 11:59. So I would not wait until Wednesday at 10 o'clock to start doing your assignments. I know that a couple people have been late on their journals because they are webinars that sometimes take an hour or longer to go through to really learn the material. And I appreciate the fact that you're learning the material, but when you're turning it in at 2 o'clock in the morning the following day on Thursday, I can't accept that. That's not fair to the students who have been diligent and been doing it early, but it's also not keeping in line with the policies of this course. So I don't want to be hard about stuff, but I do have to say we do need to make sure that we're keeping up with the work in the class. I know at the end of the semester you're going to have a lot of work in some of your other classes if you're taking more classes. So look ahead what you can finish on this Debbie project, or at least get started and get tweaking so that you don't have to do it all at the end. That might be a wise thing to do. And you know that you've got spring break coming, and not that I'm advocating you working over spring break on your assignments, but that might be a great time to spend doing some of the projects and different things. Note that I've got the class set up so that every time you post your journal entry for that week, the next week opens up to you, only you. So it doesn't open up for the whole class. So you have to complete that journal each week in order for it to open up. And you can work ahead. Just make sure you're going back and posting on the discussion boards. If you've posted on discussion board for week 8 this week, make sure you're going back during week 8 so that you can read your classmates' post, because there are some really valuable resources in some of the stuff that you guys are posting, and I'm really excited about seeing you guys in a classroom one day and some of the things you're going to be doing with the families to engage them in your classes. So very excited about some of the things that you've shared. And I apologize for the trick question, so to speak, in the discussion board. And it really wasn't meant to be a trick question, where we talked a little bit about engagement as opposed to involvement, because I know that the textbook refers to involvement more than engagement. And I love what someone said. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they said that it seems like family engagement is family involvement times 10. And they're right. That's pretty much it. Engagement means you're truly engaged in the process and in the learning and in everything in that program. Involvement means I'm just involving you briefly for a limited amount of time to do a certain project or to do something specific, or maybe even you serve as a room leader of some sort, like bringing in the snacks or something like that. So it's very, very different. It looks very different, and that's what I wanted you to gather from that particular conversation, and you guys did really well on that, so I appreciate that. I hope you have a great week, and if you have any questions, again, check out my office hour. I've been trying to schedule them in the evenings because I realize that many of you work during the day. I know that's not conducive to some of you who work in the evenings out in retail, but I will try to vary that up again in the coming weeks, especially with this Debbie project being so large. So please let me know if you have any questions, or if you just need to talk with me one-on-one about something. Just email me and let's set up an appointment to do that. I hope you have a great week and stay safe out there. Bye.